Lachie Neale completes his near miracle comeback, training strongly to win his place at selection for Saturday's decider.
Snoop Dogg professes his love for the grand finale, while a pair of favourite sons await their moment either side of the coveted Premiership Cup.
And the legends who know what it takes when the stakes are at their highest. Captains and coaches and characters alike. Join us for our special event Thursday.
We talked about is step into it, embrace all of it.
Get in the room and fix it.
It's unedifying for a senior coach to do that.
Err on the side of caution with the brain. Take the man off.
They played the best footy I've ever seen at the start of the season. And if you'd said Brisbane lift the cup, I would have said, of course they do.
It's the stuff that legends are made of.
What is holding the ball? I don't think I could answer it clearly right now.
I could do something wrong, and I need to go, and the board sacks me.
The fans love it, and with no fans, no 360, right?
They told me you were always at your best for a grand final show, Gaz.
Jared, the sense of deja vu. Thursday night, grand final show. This has taken me back to the grand final footy show days. We've got a live audience, massive, over here. Look at them. 4 of them, actually. It's a bit like the 15,000 at Rod Laver Arena. Don't worry about that. I'm not doing any acts, so, it's great. I'm ready to go and we've got a good lineup.
We do. I was thinking about this. So 15,000, but I'm not going to make you dress up as Shirt. Give me your favourite or least favourite.
Least favourite was Mick
moments.
Jagger. Had to do a Mick Jagger routine. Hopeless. Most embarrassing thing I've ever done. Second worst, I had to go up as Yo Gabba Gabba.
Oh, no.
With some children's thing with a big eyebrow. So anyway, it was horrendous, but the night was great, and I'm getting those vibes tonight. With the big audience here, Jared, it's going to be massive. Got a great rundown too.
We do. Oh, this is for you.
That is mine. Is that the grand final footy? Oh, it smells good. And there's the cup too. The cup's coming in. Look at this, Jared. Get it on.
All right, here's what we've got lined up for you on our grand final special. Josh Dunkley is here. We're so lucky to have him. Simon Goodwin, Jack Riewoldt, they know it so well. Ray Chamberlain. There's a couple of overhang issues, isn't there? Toby Greene. I think it's Toby's birthday.
He's going in the sprint.
No. I thought that was just trolling.
He must be getting an appearance fee.
That can't be for real. Travis Boak's got his book. Alastair Lynch knows it all so well. Ebony Marinoff and Ali Anderson, the first W players to reach the 100-game milestone.
That is a mighty effort. They haven't missed.
Have not missed.
Every available game that the team's played, they've played in.
Tomorrow, we own on Fox Footy.
We do.
Press conferences from 10.
Oh, yes.
Into the parade, full coverage, and then 4 AFLW games with the sheer mayhem of bounce thrown in for good measure.
Beautifully placed. Great. That is great scheduling. That is magnificent. And then on Saturday we'll be down at the MCG from 10 o'clock. All the crew will be there. All your favourites. Look at those names. Ruby Slicer leading the way. Dermot Bucks, Geordie, Cam Mooney, Hawke. They'll be popular. The Brisbane Lion boys. Yeah. Brownie will be strutting around like he owns the joint. So... It'd be magnificent.
And then the best part is, when we get home from the ground, Fox's own call will be there for us to take in.
My word. For replay straight after the game and for the rest of time, Jared.
For all of summer.
For all time.
That's what it'll be.
Exactly.
All right, let's get into it. We thought, who's our entertainment reporter? Yeah, well, it has to be Jack.
No one else is available.
So we've all got a bit of an eye towards Snoop Dogg.
What do you like most about Melbourne?
This sport, man. I just fell in love with this sport. I always would watch it and never really understood. It reminded me of American football, rugby, and a couple other things. But now that I understand it, I really want to know more about it and see the grand finale. I know what this means to the culture. I've been coming to this country for years, and I understand what this game is and what it means. So I know that it's not just a sport, it's a way of life. I know it's not just a team or a club, it's part of your DNA. So I understand what is at stake, and I'm here to, do my part and to bring what I bring to the table.
All right, his loyalties will always belong to the Killers, but he'll have an eye towards Snoop, I reckon. Jack Riewoldt, Premiership Cup ambassador, welcome.
It's good to be back on 360. It's been a while. It's good to be back here.
Not even you could find your way onto the stage with Snoop Dogg after this grand final. I know you'll try.
I've heard the inside whisper that he's practiced 3 times today and it's going to be incredible.
he had all the right notes in that press conference. I thought he was great, you know, with his knowledge, whether it's real or it's been a crash course. I think he presented beautifully. So,
do you reckon that was the first time he kicked a Sharon the other day with the Dacos?
Yeah, he's a
boys?
good athlete, the dog.
The dog.
I call him the dog. He's a good athlete. Like, he played some serious sport. He had a series, a reality series, where he coached junior sport as well. So he's a sporting megastar.
Yep. So the undoubted charisma. The real test is going to be when he performs. Will enough people know what he's performing?
Well, you're our entertainment reporter. What's he going to sing?
I think he would have to open up with next episode, which is that la da 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 da. That's very famous Snoop Dogg lyrics and Snoop Dogg song there. And then from there, I think we're all flying by the seat of our pants, including the AFL as well. So, no, all reports are it's going to be very good. Obviously, it will be hard to top the Killers, but I mean, they've spent a lot of money on Snoop Dogg. Let's hope he performs.
Let's hope so. Righto, you've been performing around the country with the Cup. How have you found travelling around with it and the magnetism that it has?
Yeah, it's been good. I've been able to handball it across to a few of the Fox colleagues that have picked it up. Mark Rasciuto, I thought there was no better person to take it through South Australia than Mark Rasciuto. And then Brownie did me a solid up in Brisbane. Even Dimmer. I leaned on a few old relationships. Dimmer took it through the Gold Coast for me. But it's been great to take it around. I enjoyed taking it home to Tasmania as well. But of recent, the last week, it's been steadfast here in obviously Victorian heartland, AFL heartland here with the grand final at the MCG. And today it's done an amazing trip, just pottering around to a whole bunch of media venues. I've seen Gary already today, so I'm thrilled to be seeing Gary again for the second time today. I mean, the aura. Aura is a word that's found its way into football vocabulary. This thing has aura.
Did it take you back? It was like when you picked it up, did you feel it coursing through your veins?
You forget how weighty it is. Like it is a serious piece of a serious piece of hardware. Well, you've picked this one up.
I have picked it.
We don't want to go down that.
No, we
Gary,
don't.
But what you forget is that there's people through the walks of the last week that don't follow either of these two teams. And all they want to do is have a photo with the Cup. And I think there's this element of just hope and that one day, like it was for Richmond in 2017, that is their chance to be at the MCG or be watching home on Fox and just go, that my team won the Cup.
I think your modesty was underplayed on this particular I think that's been undersold. And just the rest of the team can sit back whilst you celebrate with the Punt Road faithful.
I think there's a few of my teammates actually holding me up, to be honest. Nathan Broad doing his hard work there and then catching me on the way down. But
I love that, again, and I'm being very serious, I do sit and I watch it and I love the lap. And you talked today about the fact that you just take your time. And but you're not precious with the Cup. There's no, it gets chucked around, it gets dinged, you know, and by the time Monday comes around, there'll be a few dents in it. That's what I love.
Well, this one's pure. It has no stories yet, and the story will be Saturday, and then there will be the story for the Cup post that. So it'll go through a whole range of celebrations. It'll go through a whole range of emotions.
Did you give it to anyone else, by the way?
No, that was my one. Everyone else got a little mini one. I think I just took the big one because I figured possession's 9/10 of the law. So but after that it goes. The players get a chance to take it home. So you think of every single player that the journey that they've come from, it could make its way back to Ireland if a couple of the Irish boys get involved from Geelong. So it goes back and it goes to the story of why people started playing footy, or who was the one person that inspired that young man to take up AFL or become the player or train a little bit harder. And that's the reward for one team on Saturday.
So that's how the day ended. I was just thinking, the image when you first come up into your... So there's a lot of players who've played grand finals, but there'll be a handful who are going to experience it for the first time. Can you place yourself back as you're coming out onto the MCG for the start of the 2017 grand final? Yeah,
look, there is obviously a small handful of players that are doing it for the first time. We had everyone doing it for the first time, other than our coach. And I think that was our superpower, is that we had Damien Hardwick, who the leader always sets the scene for grand final week. So coming off the back of the prelim, he said to us, enjoy the week. And that was his final message as we went up the race here in front of 100,000 fans is that he goes, enjoy the game. You remember why you play footy. You play footy because you love the competition. You love playing with your teammates. And we had something special going with our group at this period of time that obviously lasted for 5 years or so after that as well. And
is that 2017?
This is 2017, yeah. There was obviously the debate about the yellow tops and whatnot. But then the moment which I think happens at a lot of football grand finals is you sit on those old wooden sort of steeplechase sort of seats and you have the old school photo. And every Richmond player was smiling. And that was the enjoyment and the attitude and the environment that Damien Hardwick had set along with Trent Cotchin and a few other senior leaders. And we played like that.
How vivid is that, watching that? Does that come rushing? Like, how many times have you watched it? Can you recall instantaneously moments?
Yeah, do you know when you go on to Fox or KO, Gary, and it predicts what you're going to type in? Mine's very good at...
Just walk in the room.
I go, pings it on, there you go. I haven't seen the footage about walking up there, so you get a few shivers. Like, I think I was walking, my arms weren't bending, I was a little bit nervous and I was just sort of walking a bit like a Power Ranger. No, it was... They're great moments to relive, and then when this rolls around grand final week, you get to relive them with old teammates.
All right, you've got to stay on the move. This is due in various locations, and you're the ambassador, so thanks for bringing it in.
Yeah, it'll pass Josh Dunkley on the way out there. A lot of people don't like to touch it. Right. A few staff here don't like to touch it, but I think Dunks, he's been there.
Dunks, I understand.
Dunks is all over it. He goes, I don't care, I'll touch it. He's been there 4 times. He knows what it's all about. He could be a 3-time Premiership player come Saturday.
I can tell them, you ain't going to impact the result by touching that.
They think that, though, Gary. They think that.
I love it. Jack,
good on you,
great
mate.
to see
you.
you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Jack
it.
Riewoldt back with us on 360. So let's get to it. Our special guest tonight, and we are so lucky. He made this part of his grand final routine last year, and it worked out just fine. So Josh Dunkley is back as we contemplate the game with the greatest consequence.
They've done it. What a team. That culture, the Bloods. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I think the first feeling is relief. Yeah, I think many people talk about if you could bottle that moment and just have a drink of it every now and then.
That emotional ecstasy you get when you know you've won. Might be the final siren in a close game, a bit earlier in the game that's a bit of a blowout maybe. It's a moment that you cherish.
It is the best week in football, even as a non-player now, just to be in and around the town.
For the first time, I reckon, in my career prelim finals, I was like, gosh, I wish I was playing again.
You shouldn't spend your entire career, aiming to get to a week like this and then get into that week and then try and shut it out. So, our message for our players is enjoy the moment, drink it all up.
When your team's here, you got some skin in the game, there's a little bit of extra anxiety to it.
We're a chance, so I'm really looking forward to it. Our players are ready for it. So the message from me is pretty simple. Step in and enjoy.
What I know about this group is they've got tremendous spirit, and that can't be questioned, and that they'll be deadly keen to give a good account of themselves.
It goes from your best week to your worst week pretty quickly, and then you go home nice and early and you sit there and you stare at the ceiling for a long time.
You do wake up the next day and there's that 5 seconds where you don't know what happened yesterday, and then you realise what happened yesterday. That's a bad morning too.
You very much turn the mirror on yourself, and you're very hard on yourself on the days after. You sort of look at yourself pretty hard, and it can be a very lonely experience.
They've risen again. The back-to-back dream is still alive. The Cats are into another grand final on the back and the shoulders of a truly remarkable man.
Really going to enjoy the hell out of this week because it's a magic week of footy.
The most magical week of footy takes us to the MCG on Saturday. Josh Dunkley's about to play in his 5th grand final. Josh, it's great to have you back on 360. Welcome.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
What do you think of that? 5 grand finals.
Yeah, it's obviously a bit of a pinch yourself moment. Obviously, being a young kid growing up and seeing grand finals and how they're played, and now to obviously be playing my 5th is incredible. So very grateful for the opportunity.
So 2 wins and 2 losses. How sharp is the difference between winning and losing on grand final?
Yeah, I mean, you listen to Horse Longmire there, and he's totally right. Like, it's either the best day or the worst day of your life. So we're excited about the opportunity on Saturday, and we know that, you know, Geelong are going to bring the heat, and we've got to be ready for it and give it our all and see how we go.
I'm interested in this. You've been here, which was last year. The result was great. I don't know whether you're superstitious or not, but it speaks to the fact that you're able to compartmentalise. I mean, there are a lot of players that wouldn't contemplate doing a television show 2 nights out from a granny.
Yeah, I'm not too superstitious. I obviously did it last year, so it worked for me. But I just feel like, you know, we come to Melbourne early, and if you're not enjoying the environment and what, you know, the game brings this week, then why be here? You know, you've got to really let yourself go, enjoy the week, embrace everything. And I'm sure a lot of players have been out there this week talking about it, but you've got to make sure you do that and really embrace it.
That's a great attitude. We're thankful, and I think everyone watching at home would be as well. So Chris Fagan, your coach, has been on the record saying that this is your best year, your best home and away year, and the finals that you've played have been outstanding as well. Do you concur?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, since I've been at the footy club, it's definitely been one of the toughest years from a draw point of view, and also, you know, injury as well. So it's just a special group, you know, the way that we're able to stand up in big moments and still have guys, you know, like Ty Gallop and Logan Morris last year stand up, and Kai Lohman as well. So there's so many guys that are young, that have done so many important roles for us and have got us to this point.
A little bit of track watching today. Let's dig into what you saw. Did you have half an eye towards Lachie Neale at training?
Oh, to be honest, not really, because I knew exactly what was going to happen. I watched him last week on a Tuesday before the prelim final and saw him running around and thought, geez, he's not going to miss if we win. So I actually thought he was a chance to play last week, to be fair. So normally with the calves, you know, you see him limping or whatever, but he's been unbelievable. He's done a fair bit of work in the hyperbaric chamber and things like that. So it's obviously worked for him, and we can't wait to have him out there on Saturday.
So how remarkable is the club put out its own press release the day after saying his season was over, and here he is in the biggest game of all? Yeah,
I mean, it's a credit to him. You know, he obviously had the 1% chance that he thought in his mind to potentially get himself up if we were to make it through, and to do that, you know, obviously he's incredible. So I'm pumped for him. You know, fingers crossed we can get the job done on Saturday, and he can look back on that thinking what an incredible decision.
I love that degree of certainty, Jared. That tells us a bit of a story as well, particularly about how, you know, Josh knows him better than anyone else. So Geelong, of course, have made one forced change as well. So Tom Stewart goes out, who's really significant, and Reece Stanley is the player that comes back in. And it will take some replacing that man. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Did you sit back and watch that game?
Yeah, I did. Watched it with my family in the hotel last Friday night, and it was an incredible game. You know, obviously Hawks were up and about with their momentum, and the Cats just were able to stand up to it and fire back the other way. So it was good, and also some learnings from the game and the one that we played against Geelong as well early in the final series. So plenty that we looked at that we've gone to work on this week, and yeah, fingers crossed we use some of it. Your performances have been magnificent against Geelong, particularly. You might touch on them in a moment, Jared, but I guess I was interested when Fague says, you know, you can wander in every now and then and say, hey, I want him, or I'm, you know, keen to redeem myself on the back of a performance that you don't get beaten very often. Have you had that conversation this time round? Have you wandered in and declared that I know we're a team, but I wouldn't mind him? Yeah, probably not as much this week. There's certain players in the Cats lineup that, you know, they'll all get off the chain at some certain point. So to be able to, you know, change up the way that they look and where I go is a bit of a sort of goal of mine this weekend, I feel. You know, they've got some dangerous players. Dangerfield I thought he was incredible. One of the best games I've seen last week. Obviously, they've got Bailey Smith, Max Holmes, so many damaging players. And the other one in there in the midfield too is Tom Atkins, who's given him some real drive, and he's been incredible this final series. So we're going to have to be paying some attention to him too. So will you be ready to go to any one of those where needs be at any moment? Yeah, it's sort of a thing, you know, I'll feel out there on the ground on grand final days. You know, if someone's getting up and about, one of the boys might come to me and say, just go to him for a little bit, or I might just bring it on myself. So I'm having conversations with Brucey, our midfield coach, and Fags on the bench as well. So there's so many things that happen that out there that you sort of can't control, and if I can go and control it, then it's what I'll do for the team. Did you think your days of playing on Dangerfield might have been over? Yeah, they're probably right back in front of you in the middle. Oh, as I said, he's been an incredible player for such a long period of time, but to see him play the way that he did last week was insane. Full hats off to him. He's obviously throwing his body around and doing all the hard things for the team, and he was able to hit the scoreboard as well, so very damaging.
What about this group here? Your faith in this group? And we've sat back and, you know, everyone just marvelled at what you did last year in the grand final, and then you've done it the hard way this way. And every line you look through there's a story. I mean, how confident are you? You know, don't worry about the win and loss, that'll sort itself out, but in this team to put its best foot forward?
Oh, fully confident. I mean, you see guys in there that have put their hand up, and the youth that I've talked about already. There's guys that missed out last year. You know, Darcy Gardner wasn't there last year. Oscar McInerney, another story. So many stories, as you mentioned. But full faith in the group. I get goosebumps thinking about it, running out there with those boys, because, you know, it's not only that team, but it's also the team behind the team as well, like our squad and our footy club. So really excited to get out there and hopefully put on a show for our fans in our club.
So the names that are missing, Tom Stewart's the name missing from the Geelong lineup, and Jared Berry's the name missing for the Lions. So that's the hard part of the week, and he lives the Oscar McInerney experience of last year. How have you been with him during a pretty tough week for an individual? Yeah, it's tough, and Bez was similar to Locke. He gave himself every opportunity. He's such an incredible person, Bezza. I take my hat off to him. It was his call at the end of the day, and he put the team first. So I don't think we can look too far ahead of that for inspiration, if you know what I mean. I feel like he's a leader of our group. He's a player that's played an incredible year, and to say that you can't be ready to go on grand final day is just incredible. So, I'm in awe of what he's been able to do, and fingers crossed we can get the job done for him. Some players play well against teams regularly. You've had 25 plus, and I know for you it's not all about possessions, in your last 7 games. I don't know whether you're aware of that against Geelong, but is there something about the group, or you're not aware of it? But look at these numbers. They're pretty impressive numbers. Yeah, I haven't seen that. I wasn't too aware of that. But, I mean, it's a team that I love playing. I love playing against the best, and Geelong have been the best for a long period of time. So those games you really get yourself up for, as you know, and it's going to be a great challenge this Saturday. But all our experiences against them over the years, especially since I've been at Brisbane, have been, even at the Bulldogs, to be honest, have been incredible games. So love playing in those big games and taking it up to them. How are you feeling right now? Like, we saw some pictures of your post-game. You weren't trying to hide behind a door. You're in the moon boot, which I imagine is precautionary, and at best everyone's got a little niggle here and there. What was this about? Yeah, just a little ankle from the game last week. I'll be fine come Saturday. It's just a bit of a precautionary thing that you want to make sure you get sorted straight away and stiffen it up, and then get ready to go throughout the week. So I'm fine, and did a little bit of training today and look forward to the game. You've gone the distance 2 years running, so the maximum 27 games last year and 27 again this year. So you are both schooled in it and amassing a lot. Do you sense when you're all together you've still got that one big performance in you? Yeah, for sure. And I said it last year, I feel like we're sort of peaking at the right time. We've got those guys, we've given them that experience and our ability to stand up on the big stage. You know, those guys, all our team have confidence in doing that. You know, it doesn't really get bigger than playing against Collingwood last week in a prelim final with all their fans, and it's not as many corporates there in the prelim final, so it was loud as. I've never experienced that other than probably 23 grand finals. So that experience holds us in good stead, and I'm fully confident moving forward into this game. It's just awesome to have you. We're going to let you go in a moment. Just talk me through, pre-game, hour and a half out. There's Snoop Dogg's doing his stuff. Do you wander down the race, have a bit of a peek, or where are you, and what sort of a build-up are you? Like, you're very relaxed here and so impressive, but do you get into a zone, or is it pretty relaxed? I feel like I get more nervous as we're heading to the ground, but as soon as we're with the group of boys and the team and the environment, you're there at the G, you just settle in. I settle in, and I feel like you have a bit of fun. The whole pre-game ritual or the warm-up goes out the window because there's so many different things. You've got to be able to warm up. I think it's an hour and a half before the game. So instead of going out there 45 minutes before, it's completely different because of all the pre-game entertainment. So it is a little bit different, but they're the things you learn over the years, and I've been lucky to experience that stuff, so be able to share that with the boys that are playing in their first. Yeah, so what will you share? What makes it special? Is it different to any other day? Yeah, it's definitely different. I think the week's different. If you're trying to do... I was talking to Sammy Marshall early in the week around, he's got a lot of things that he likes to tick off, and we all do as footy players. We're all very superstitious with our stuff during the week in preparation, but you got to almost throw everything out the window and enjoy the week. Whatever comes, and
Koch has actually been a big one for us as leaders too. He's come into the footy club and said, you know, we've got to be able to make sure we're adaptable. You can't control these things this week, so make sure you move them on pretty quickly and don't get caught up in the moment.
All right, we're letting you go. Just give me a little inkling who you might sidle up next to. I'll give you an inkling. I think you're sidling up next to Patrick Dangerfield.
Yeah, potentially. First bounce.
How good was
We'll
that?
see how we go.
Good on you, mate.
It'll be good.
Terrific, Josh. Thanks a lot.
Great to have you in, mate.
Thank you.
Josh Dunkley, already a two-time Premiership player, saddling up for his 5th grand final. Next, a coach and a captain, those who have done it before. Simon Goodwin did it twice as a player before this moment as the Melbourne coach. And Alastair Lynch, he was on the rostrum at the start. He lived through the golden era, a driving force for the Great Lions. He won it twice as a player in a Hall of Fame career, and then this unforgettable night in Perth in 2021. The drought breaker for the Demons against the Bulldogs in one of the most paralysing bursts grand final footy has ever seen. Simon Goodwin has stood with the Premiership Cup as a young man and as an experienced coach. So the perfect man to have with us on a night like tonight. Inside the mind of the coach, someone who's lived the pre-grand finals bye as well, which might be a new reality soon enough. Simon, you've lived the journey with us throughout 2025. It's great to see you. Welcome back.
Yeah, good to be back, Jared, Gaz. It's a big week.
Water under the bridge. I mean, you look back at that, just brings back memories, I'm sure.
Yeah, look, it does. It brings back a lot of fond memories, and you know, the first thing that always goes to your mind is the people that helped build that all the way through. And there's some special times, some special relationships, and it's something that no one can ever take away from you.
Well, you go.
As a young man, so I was just looking back, you were 20 in your 10th game.
Yeah.
What?
When you first won a premiership with the Crows.
That's going to happen all the time.
And then did it 21 games later. So game 10 and game 31. So that's really early in the piece. When you think back, what do you think back on to your days as a player winning it?
I think back to how lucky I was to get drafted to the LA Footy Club. You know, it does take some luck early in your career, and I got drafted to the team that I barracked for. I was pick 100 and something in the draft, in the pre-season draft, and to play your first 2 years as a premiership player, you just think back to how lucky you were as a player, but also you think this is going to happen all the time, and you soon work out how hard you got to work to get there, and it took another 23 years, both as a player and as a coach, even an assistant, to get back to that one day where you get an opportunity. And that man on screen, Malcolm Blight, was instrumental in changing the way the Adelaide Footy Club went about their business, and you know we shared it twice.
Talk to all our coaches that wander through here. What the difference between coaching a premiership and playing in one? Where does it sit, and which one did you enjoy most?
I enjoyed the coaching one because it was 9 years of work really that took you to that day, and when you're a player, there's the excitement, there's the exuberance. It's a very singular role that you've got to execute in a bigger team, and you don't really appreciate it as much. But when you're a coach, you know the challenge, and you know the amount of people it takes to build into that situation. And once you get there, it's relief, but it's total joy as well.
So two elements. One that coaches are living through at the moment is the injury side of things. So Lachie Neale's got himself up. Jared Berry said he couldn't. Tom Stewart doesn't get a chance. So you had Stephen May. I feel like this was a story that only got told in the aftermath. Put us inside the 2 weeks when your fullback has a tear in his hamstring.
Yeah, look, so he strained his hamstring in the prelim final. We went off, got scans. He had an 8 centimetre tear in the tendon. The conversation was pretty quick to the medical team, and the high performance manager, Darren Burgess, was around what sort of information are we going to give the player, what sort of protocols are we going to step through. And throughout the whole year, and this is a coach which is really important because trust is probably the biggest thing that you can get. And we had a great success with our medical team and the high performance team of not only getting players up to play, but also getting them to perform. So I had enormous trust in Darren and the medical team. We told Mays, you had a slight hamstring strain. These are the protocols you're going to have to step through. He ticked off every single one of them. The last one that we wanted to make sure, and we were really fortunate, we'd played the Western Bulldogs 2 times already that season, and the player that he was playing on, he'd only ever done 68 metres of high speed in both those games. So one of the final check-off points for us was you've got to at least do 100 metres of high speed. These are the depths to build the trust, and he was able to do that easily. in the last training session, and my trust was in them, and that was an easy decision to make.
That is an extraordinary call. An 8 centimetre tear in the tendon.
Yeah.
That's just almost automatic out.
Yeah, and because he was such a big man, it was really evident early on. He had full strength, so his muscles were working to a high level. And that was the thing that gave Darren and the medical team a lot of confidence to say, let's give this a go. If it fails, we know we gave it a crack.
So, in your risk reward, do you have a quiet moment where if this goes in the first 2 minutes of the game, how are you going to live with it? How are you going to deal with it? Do you run the what ifs?
You do, and that's why I spoke about what has happened earlier in the year, about the trust that was built with that team and some of the decisions that were made. And at that time, my biggest thing is to empower my staff, and I was going to live by that decision, and they made a great decision.
Fagan and Neil living that conversation. He's been named, Lachie Neale. I love Josh Dunkley's answer. We asked him, he goes, no, I didn't ever have any doubt about it. He didn't have to wait till today. He reckons he knew. So this is what Chris is having to deal with. The fact that it's Lachie, does that make it a little bit easier for him?
Look, I think it does. The athlete generally knows best as well. And I think Lachie Neale's, a captain. He's a Brownlow medalist. He'll know his body if it's right, and he's going to go out and perform. And you just know what you're going to get out of Lachie Neale. So I think once you step through all those protocols, the decision would be easy.
You've lived the grand final where there was a bye on the way into it because of COVID and over in Perth. If the AFL came to you and asked you, do you think we should do this, or does the wait become interminable? What is your view?
I loved it. I only experienced it. I loved it. I loved the build-up. I loved the extra time to plan and get all the awards and everything out of the way through that period. It really determines what happens at the front end. In that year, we went straight into finals. There was no pre-finals bye. We went straight in and we had the bye at the end. I thought it was brilliant. It gave everyone a chance to have the best players available. Like Stephen May would not have played in that grand final, and to get him out there and play, I think was fantastic, and it gives the best chance to build the spectacle that it deserves to be.
So if you were asked, would you say let's do that?
Yeah, absolutely, I would.
Well, we'll look at this, a new role for you too. Sydney Swans, which has been announced recently, which is exciting. You get up into a really well-run football club. What's the role and when do you get your feet on the desk?
Yeah, look, Director of Coaching and Performance, and it's really about going in there and working with Dean Cox and the coaching team and building a really high-performing environment with a great strategy. And I'm looking forward to, I've been lucky enough to have 9 years of senior coaching to work with Coxie and help build the Swans back into the team that's contending. And it's exciting to go and live a different culture. I know I'm going to a great footy club that's well run. And they've proven that over a 25-year period, and it's exciting to go and learn as well.
You're on record as saying you want to go and coach again. Is there a coaching element in this as well?
Yeah, look, there is. There's some strategy elements and a phase of the game that I'll be looking after. We're still working through what that looks like, but there is some coaching element to it. I'm looking forward to doing that as well and getting the hands, back on the tools within training and game day. So I'm excited by that, but I'm excited just to go and learn as well and grow with myself.
Awesome.
Have you had a chance to decompress?
I have. I had a great trip to Bali, got away. It's been 8 weeks. It's amazing how quickly you go from being so full on to then your days are pretty quiet. But I've enjoyed the 8 weeks, and I've got a few months to go yet.
When do you start with the Swans?
In January.
All right. A great resource for them to pick
up. The head says the Cats, but the heart says the Lions. There's something about the Lions when they're challenged, they just keep responding. Yeah. I love it.
All right, let's play D-Day, shall we, for Aussie Broadband. It's D-Day for everybody, but we've gone to pick one individual.
Playing D-Day?
Yep, playing D-Day. Who would you like to have for D-Day?
Taking over?
I'm taking Zach Bailey. I think he's probably nearly the most important player for the Lions. Every role that he plays, he gives something different, whether it's forward, whether it's on the wing, and I've loved what he's done in the middle. If he has a big day and impacts the scoreboard, I can see the Lions winning.
Yeah, he stepped up in the absence of Lachie Neale, hasn't he? Gone through that middle and had a real big say in proceedings ever since the moment that Lachie went out. So, I think you've done...
He gives a point of difference. Yeah. He's different to all the other midfielders.
Gaz?
Shannon Neale, for me, on the basis that Harris Andrews just could be the most important player out there. And then he's had a couple of goes at him and failed. Well, it's no shame to fail against Harris Andrews, but he has to work out a way if, in fact, that's the matchup. Now, blitz halves might be a chance to go and play on Harris if they think he's that good. I'm a huge fan of this bloke, but his output against Harris in the last two. Harris was best on ground down at GMHBA in round 15. He obliterated him, took 10 marks. And then that qualifying final, I thought Harris was in the best two on the ground as well. well. He's kicked only just a goal. What's he kicked? 2 goals in 3 games against Brisbane. So he's got to compete. And I guess, I don't know whether Chris will have him play on Harris again, do you think?
Blixsales might go to him?
Yeah, I think he's played a lot of forward footy in the back 6 games of the year. It's a chance. What's yours, Roldo?
I've gone Josh Dunkley because this is the path to the Norm Smith. He's going to have to play on a combination of Bailey Smith, Max Holmes and Patrick Dangerfield.
Easy.
He might play on all 3 of them at once at various stages. He is just the man to be able to quell whatever is out of control. And I thought the way he depicted, sometimes it's his intuition, sometimes it's the direction that comes. He has an outstanding record against Geelong in what he's able to do offensively. But I just feel like if we know where the danger is and he's able to go to it one by one by one, that is going to carry so much weight if he does it successfully.
Yeah. I like them all.
Yeah, he's going to danger in the early. He has to.
What a matchup that is.
Yeah.
Hey?
What's it, having the fresh evidence of the qualifying final to the grand final, who does it favour? Chris Scott, that everything worked, or Chris Fagan, I've seen it all now, let's get busy?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting question. I think you like to be in Fag's position where you know what got done against you. What did Geelong do that actually beat you? And to get really deep on assessing that, because you got to fair to say the Cats are going to go after exactly the same thing again. And I think Fags would have done a lot of work in the last few weeks. If we get back to this position, what are we going to do a little bit differently?
It's great to see you,
Awesome,
Simon.
mate. Good to
Thanks
see
for
you.
being here.
Good luck.
We'll see you next in red and white.
Enjoyed the year, thank you.
Simon Goodwin with us on 360. Right, let's delve into the Lions dynasty past with an eye toward what they're building now.
My old man, Brian Brown, played for Fitzroy, so I've always been a Lion. It's in my blood. Some kids want to be astronauts or rock stars. All I ever wanted to do was play for the Lions. I remember going into the rooms to get Lynchy's autograph. Yeah. And the next thing, I'm playing alongside the legend. Couldn't believe it. It's who I am. And how lucky we were to be coached by Lee Matthews, our general. At times you'd walk into pre-game meetings with your tail between your legs. And then you'd walk out full of belief, ready to take on the world.
What you've learned is how hard to push the opposition into submission. That is the basis of this team.
He wouldn't want me saying this, but he had a soft spot, Lethal. I remember going up the race for our first grand final in 01. We were his boys. And I remember him turning and yelling out, he loved us.
Lee Matthews has done the impossible. Brisbane have won the premiership.
Fags is the father figure up there now. The smile, the empathy he shows, that quiet determination from the Tassie Tiger. I don't know what it is, but it works. We had the Fab Four, Voss, Lappin, Acker and Blackie. But this crew has its own in Neil, McCluggage, Dunkley and Will Ashcroft. Will Ashcroft reminds me of Simon Black, both with Normie sitting at home. How good is this? Choppers would be proud. Harris Andrews, legs like a giraffe, heart of Far Lap. He's a premiership captain just last year, but he's gone to another level, a bit like Leper. The young blokes, yes, they're young, but they're also tough and love the big stage. He's a star, this kid. This kid Morris, he goes all right. And don't forget about Levi.
It's an Ashcroft there.
And Fletcher, another son of a gun.
He's getting better every week.
Darcy Wilmot. He plays with an infectious energy that drags the other boys along. Keeps putting his finger in your ear.
He does that every time.
What about this bloke? My mate Tink. Dane Zorko.
And again, and again.
He's the Chris Johnson of this generation. Both gunslingers with nerves of steel. I love Tink. Josh Dunkley. Tough bastard. Full stop. Selfless, hard-working, athletic, inspiring.
Cool hands, good. Feeling good in here.
He reminds me of my mate Nigel Lappin, now a coach at the Cats. That's right, the Cats. Yeah, they're in this too. Under master coach Chris Scott, who'll rival Lee Matthews' record if he wins another. I always wanted to be in the trenches with Scotty. His passion and ruthlessness has translated well to the coach's box. But it's his intelligence and his ability to pick opponents apart that most makes him like lethal. But at day's end, the Lions have an advantage. It's made from two. The heart of a Roy boy and the spirit of a Queenslander.
They are football's invincible. Walking on thin ice to dancing on the mountain.
The Lions produce the domination to make the golden era proud.
That is right from the heart. What a beautiful piece.
Yeah, magnificent.
How good was that?
Yes, Alastair Lynch, welcome.
Wiping the tears away.
Oh, mate, that was fantastic. I'm tipping Brownie hasn't written it, but no, he's done a great job. That was a fantastic piece. Slightly weighted towards the Brisbane Lions, but great recognition of Geelong as well.
Do you see this group in the image of what you guys were able to achieve?
Yeah, you do see it. You see this enormous trust and respect of each other, and there's just a bond that's built. Like over the last 7 years, you've seen it form, and then you've just been able to pluck a couple of players and put it in to that team. And you had Josh Dunkley in. I mean, what a mature age recruit to drop into that team, and now you're seeing the next evolution come through. Like they're still right in the window now to win flags, but you've got this bunch of 22-year-olds and under that are coming through and playing some great footy. So no, it's exciting. It's it does make you think back to those halcyon days 20 years ago.
That fusion of the generations is the best part of it, because there'd been a tendency to look as the ageing champ, but they're not that. They have this core, and Riewoldt is the energy and all of it. And Ty Gallop rises at that moment. So this is the makings of, it's not just Saturday, this is the makings of the next stretch.
Yeah, and I suppose that's the challenge as a coach and a leader in the group, is to allow those younger or different types to be themselves. And you look back to the way maybe Lee handled Acker. You know, you've got different personalities in this group. You know, the buzz of Darcy Wilmot doing the wet willies to the coach in his press conferences. I mean, yeah, they're being allowed to be themselves, they're expressing themselves on the field, and there's this bond and trust. And certainly Fags has set that up beautifully with his leadership group.
So I'll ask you about Fags in a moment, because you know him so well, but the coach of the other mob you also know really well. And I know we don't need to caution you against anything. I mean, Chris Scott's been able to do some remarkable stuff with the Geelong Football Club, and he's got them right where they need to be.
Yeah, I mean, Scotty's he's a great thinker of the game, and Brownie referenced similar to Lee Matthews. I think what Chris does that is similar, and some of his press conferences he regurgitates a few of Lee's words, but what he does well is makes the most complicated sound simple. You go, oh yeah, and that's the thing Lee used to do in meetings and pre-game. He'd say something and go, oh geez, why didn't I think of that? But he makes it so clear, you know what to go and do. And the way Scotty's reinvented this team, and you know, their tactics is one thing, but getting them all to understand it is another. But have you ever seen a team get free players in their forward 50 as much as this mob?
No, well, I think that's the variety and the fact that they all know what they're doing and everyone else doesn't.
Yeah, that's incredible. So Scotty's done an amazing job to do this over an extended period.
Look at that record. That is just mind-blowing. So he wins a flag in his first game. They miss in 2015, and then have a look what happens after that.
Yeah.
Now, no one saw the 2023 drop-off, but that has become a bit of what happens these days, and maybe we get an appreciation for what it takes to get there and win one. But they're back. They're back in 2 years' time. It is just incredible.
What makes Fags special?
You talk about trust and bond. I think you talk about, coaches have got to be good at a lot of things, but what he's got this faith and this belief in his players. And there's examples you see every month in the team. You know, someone might be out of form, and we might be from the commentary box saying, well, you've got to drop this person, needs a run in the twos or something like that. But Fags is that person who'll put the arm around and trust them and just back them in, and more often than not, he gets it right. And I think we see he's getting the reward now for rebuilding this club and putting faith and trust in these players to bring them back together. And so he had to repair the group to start with. But it's basically, I think of Chris Fagan as he's the put the arm around and I'll back you in. I'll support you all the way. I think that's his greatest strength.
And they play in his image. They're a humble lot, this Brisbane side, and we had Chris, he was a coach of the year as voted by his peers, and he just deflected and deferred to everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, he does that. And I understand why he does that. But you've got to empower those people around you to do their jobs and all that sort of stuff. So he's that sort of nurturing type and empowering type. So he does it exceedingly well. And he gets uncomfortable when you're talking about him, and he doesn't want to be about him. But the reality is you need great leaders like that, and he's doing a fantastic job.
So your generation was able to win the 3 in a row.
Yeah.
What would it mean, do you think, to be in this era where back-to-back is proving so difficult and only the great teams, Hawthorn and Richmond, have been able to do it? What would it mean if they were able to complete this quest on Saturday?
It means so much because I think you look at this year and they've had challenges, like a lot of clubs have, but they've had challenges with injuries. And you know, for the first 2/3, you're thinking, well, they're just not in that great a form. They were doing enough to win. And I remember Fags bristled at one stage, said, well, we are second on the ladder. What do you mean we're not consistent? But what they've been able to do is these young groups come through and they've got burst players. So like, they can just rip you apart in 10 minutes. So if they were able to get this done again, it's one of the great premierships. To be able to do it on the back of the challenges they've had. And then you get your dual Brownlow medalist passing a fitness test to play in a grand final when he was 1% chance of playing.
And they get through and they get Oscar Allen and Sam Draper and a couple of kids through the academy. Look out.
Well, that's the evolution of, say, Fags as a coach as well. Like, players were running away from the club.
Yeah.
Now it's a destination club where players are ringing, knowing they'll get less pay, but they want to be a part of it.
They're going to get it done?
I'm confident they are, yeah. I mean, 2 great sides, obviously, but I can just picture the Rayner or Bailey or one of these players just having big moments. And you talk about the faith, we've seen bits and pieces of Charlie Cameron, but he's someone who could just jump up. I mean, Fags has backed him in.
He's up. He's up.
He is. So parade duties, we'll see you from 10 in the morning.
Yes, look forward to it. It should be a great day.
Good on you. Alastair Lynch, we own Friday, that's for sure. Press conference into the parade. Lynch will be on duty through the streets of Melbourne. Coming up next, Toby Greene and Travis Boak. So they each have different roles. I'm still not going to believe it till he tells me he's in the sprint and Trav is in the motorcade of retiring greats.
Mackay to the wing position on the member stand side. Oh, Jesselenko, you beauty! Got up! One last roll of the dice for Leo Barry, you star!
They're trolling towards the boundary line and Harms almost makes ground. He taps it back to shoulder. That's a goal!
Milner at best. Ball bouncing. Scores a level.
The centre didn't have eyes for the ball, just went straight at Brereton has put him down.
Bang! 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 Bang!
We thought this had happened very early on, and now they're not mucking around these guys.
Oh, gee. This is 1958 revisited. It's the bloodbath.
Look at the little jam go. Coming around the boundary line. Going for goal number 7. What's the result? Jarman again. Round the body. That'll do. Oh, that will do.
Zach Dawson spills it, but a clever soccer by Scarlett.
To Malcheski. Is that the grand final? Sydney are premiers.
To Black, should have a shot. Great play, Brisbane.
That's a goal, I think. It is.
And right there is the reminder that what happens on this day lives immortal.
Everything just went quiet.
Oh, every one of those moments.
These two boys are sitting there looking at it going, oh, if only.
Players' night. Hey, Travis Bogue. Travis, great to see you. Welcome in.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Toby Greene, welcome.
Thanks, lads. Thanks for having me.
Hey, happy birthday. We're a bit late figuring this out, so a bit of improv here.
A little bit of
That's
Geelong.
good, yeah.
It's the only thing we could find.
I'll put the 5 on it.
Geelong. I've got a line up for it.
Thank you, mate.
Burn the whole joint down. There you go. Happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you.
There you go.
We don't celebrate them after 30, mate.
Tell me about it.
Righto, you've both got roles. Yours I knew, so in the cavalcade of retiring champions.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Got asked to join the motorcade, and no, it's a great honour, so I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm sitting with Charlie Dixon, which will be nice, sitting in the Toyota Ute, so I'm looking forward to a good day.
And yours, I don't believe. You're going to have to say it out loud.
Yeah. Well, it's silly. I'm in the grand final sprint, and they've picked some pretty quick guys running around this year, and I think Telstra have done it off the Telstra tracker, but I'm pretty sure my speed, I got pushed, so I can't hit the speeds that these boys will hit. I'm a good bet for last, mate. I'm a good bet for last.
How did you... I'm genuinely serious. How did you get selected?
Well, Telstra...
They did it off the tracker.
I think they think I'm quick, and I've said, I've made it clear I'm not. I won't win.
Is there any chance you get... Is there any... it's maybe... Dodgem car setup.
Well, that's my best chance. My first 20 is good. I'll be up there, and then from 20 to 80, I'll get obliterated, mate. So if I can, create this Bradbury-esque sort of stuff, that's my only chance.
Gout's going to fire the gun.
Yeah, that is awesome. You've still got the chance. So you're. Oh, here we go. Here's the field. I know about the market. I'm sure there's a market being framed here. Bro McCreary's going for back-to-back. I've seen big Jed Walter. I got told that Jed Walter's top speed's as quick as anyone in the comp. Whether he can maintain it over 100 metres, I don't know. And the Lizard, he might just fly across. I don't know who's going to win. You ever go in, Trav, in the sprint?
Never gone near it. I reckon I'd probably come last as well. So I reckon you're up against it, Tobe. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, no, I am. I know. I'm well aware. Bo McCreary, he could beat me by 20 metres.
Well, enjoy it and put on a show. The motorcade will be a big moment because it's a realisation that, unless you're going to make a comeback, which I don't, that it's over. And despite everything you did, the universal admiration of the whole footy world, you didn't quite get there from that point of view.
Yeah.
I mean, I was serious when the highlights were playing. Your mind would have been going back to the one that you played in and the disappointment.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's a funny one. When the final started and after I announced my retirement, I actually wasn't that disappointed that I wasn't playing. I was like, I'm glad it's done. But now this week's come around, you start to see vision of the grand final day, and now it starts to feel a bit sick in the stomach that you're not out there, and I'll never get a chance again. And you do remember the prelims. We had a Hawthorn prelim in 2014. I think we lost by 3 points. The Richmond prelim we lost by under a goal. These ones that you just want a chance to get there and experience the day and give yourself a chance to win. And to know that I'm never going to do that again, it's hard, but that's footy. That's life. It's what happens. So I'm grateful for having an opportunity for 19 years anyway.
Did you enjoy your end? Because it was a lovely night.
It was unbelievable. I was honestly dreading the whole week and the moment. I think what I was dreading the most was the bit at the end. This bit, thinking, who am I walking around waving to people, this kind of stuff. But it was an opportunity to say thank you to so many people that had shaped my journey and helped me so much along the way. And little moments I'll remember in a game, rotating with Zach coming off and he was absolutely gassed and giving his all, and Mitch kicking that goal and pointing at me, and Connor putting up the 10 sign when he kicked the goal. Moments like that, and then walking off with Ken at the end was, it was just a dream come true. Outside of winning a granny on your last game, this was as good as it gets.
Yeah, it's fitting for what you did, mate. So congratulations. A career, as we said, and been celebrated many times. So the pictures, you'll look back and reflect on them for the rest of your life. So well done on that. That's a beautiful way to end. Toad, what about you? So you watch this. You just mentioned you're over 30. Your football club, was right there. Stirring comeback, and you've missed out again. What's that do for you when you watch that stuff?
Oh, well, when you see the grand final edit, it certainly makes you jealous, and you sort of wish that was you, I guess, in a way, and being part of this week, you sort of wish you were playing. Similar to Trav, we played in the grand final, but Richmond were better than us. But we've lost prelims where you thought you were a big chance to go on and win it, and yeah, that's sort of what you think about. But Yeah, and then we played Hawthorn this year in the finals. I knew it's a 50-50 game. They're a good team, and we couldn't get it done when we had chances to. So we got, hopefully I can play as long as Trav did. I'm not sure if I've got that in me, but give yourself another couple of years. But that's all you can do is front up and do your best. And for me, being the best leader I can and trying to get the club to, deep into a final series again and give myself a chance.
At the end of a season, does it take you a little while just to get through it all, to rationalise it all, to grieve what has been, and before you even think about resetting?
Yeah, definitely. I think when you lose an elimination final, by grand final week, you're kind of like you're done, you're over it. But losing a prelim and a semi in the last 2 years, I hated grand final week, and I hated watching the game. I think this week I'll enjoy it a little bit, and hopefully Jez gets it done. And really looking forward to seeing how he goes. But it's you despise the week when you've been really close and haven't been good enough to get there.
And you've got to impress that upon your younger teammates, right? Because we all lived that through our careers where we went, and we heard it earlier, that's what you do, you make finals, you get another chance the next year, and all of a sudden you don't, and the career passes you by. So you've still got that opportunity in front of you. How hard do you drive this, try to make sure that this group doesn't, let this opportunity go?
I think we're aware, we've our last 4 finals we've lost, and we've been in a really strong position in almost all of them, and just haven't been able to get it done. In 3 of them we lost by a kick. So I think the boys are pretty aware of how important they are and how much details matter in finals. And ultimately, if you give yourself a chance by finishing top 4, that's your best chance, and that's what I'm going to be trying to preach this year, and that's what we need to do.
Have you chosen what comes next, Trav, from a footy sense?
Coaching, by the looks of this.
So I'm in the process of it. I've met with a few clubs just to discuss what it kind of looks like. My love for the actual coaching art and the tactical side of the game, it's not up my alley, but I love the whole performance side of it and the mindset and the will to try and be the best you can. And so where that fits in a club environment, they're the discussions I want to have. And but that's what excites me the most, and that's the sort of the passion that I had to play is now in that space. And I think I'll move back to Victoria. That's all my family's here, so I'm looking forward to that journey and that challenge. But sort of in the process of it all now.
You won't be short of offers, we know that. Yeah. They'll be coming left, right and centre. You don't have to tell us who, but you're going to coach against Sam Docherty's an under-17 team grand final day, which is a big stepping stone for these players to put their best foot forward as well.
Huge, and they're obviously the next generation of our competition, and we'll have a chat to those boys tomorrow night, which will be exciting. And looking forward to see how they go, because they'll be the next crop that'll make their mark on our game and take our game forward. So it'll be exciting for them.
So there's a lot to admire in the grand final before us. I was curious, what did you think of the Patrick Dangerfield performance in the prelim?
Oh, it's as good a game as I think anyone's played in the last 10 years almost, given the time and place of it. His contest work ahead of the ball. Like, you win a contest ahead of the ball, you usually set up a goal or a scoring opportunity, and he did it 15 times in a game. It was just, it was incredible. There's no other word to say it, really. That's as good a game as anyone will play in the next, I think I've seen in the last 10 years. Maybe a couple of Dusty's finals games, but that's right up there.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, but not surprising. I think we've heard during the week, and Scott spoke about, he's built for this stage, right? And his ground ball game, his contested game, that's what finals are all about. And it's about certain moments, but he did it, moment after moment after moment. It wasn't just, 1 or 2 in a quarter. And that's why he's captain of that club. That's why he's a great leader. The rest of the boys around him kind of just followed his lead.
He talked about it with us. That's the highest of high praise, Jared. That is as good as it gets. But he said his attack on the footy, he said, well, in my mind, I just go that little bit harder. And I'm paraphrasing him, but he said that if I'm going as hard as I can just see the opposition. They don't take a backward step, but it's a ferocity that sets them back a bit. And he says he gets through better than you'd think. Someone's got to meet him head on, I think, on Saturday. And I suspect Josh Dunkley, who's been in here earlier, is that man. But is that what you need to do? Like, you cut the head off the snake kind of thing. I don't know whether he's capable of doing it to Patrick Dangerfield, but someone's got to match the intensity.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, what Paddy's talking about there is it's a mental game, really, in the end. Like, he's 36 years old, and he's willing to go to that level, and that all comes down to a mental game and who on the line side has got that. And I think Dunks has that in him to go head-to-head with it and just compete in that space of, okay, who's willing to go harder here? It's going to come down to that. And It doesn't matter how old you are; it's how much you want it. And those two, it's going to be a great contest anyway.
Do you see that during a game? Like, you strike me as someone that can be as unemotional about it, but say something's got to be done here, and I need to do it.
Yeah, I've never thought, or maybe the opposition will take a backward step because I'm going hard. So Dane just picked up on something there. That's pretty impressive if that's what he's noticing. But I think if it is Dunks, but Brisbane won't be worried about his transition game, but they'll be very worried about what he did on the weekend and his contest work forward of centre. So it'll be super interesting to see what they do and how much midfield or forward time he plays.
And I don't know how much will last from the qualifying final to the grand final, but if Cam Rayner remains the villain as he was the centrepiece that night, is that something that he should embrace? Sort of your natural habitat, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he'll cop a few boos from the Geelong supporters, but that's not going to worry him. He'll get O'Connor come to him again, and he'll get tagged. So Brisbane. It'll be interesting to see what they do. McCluggage will get the same thing again as well, and I think Brisbane will do a couple of things different to what they did in that final, and be interesting to see how they go about it. But maybe Rayner will play a little bit more mid-time, but we'll wait and see.
Who's winning?
I was thinking Geelong by a bit, but the way Brisbane have played over the last couple of weeks, you can't write them off at all, and they just love the big moment now. I think the granny that they won last year, the finals experience that they've had now, you can't count them out. So I think it's going to be a close game, and I'm going to go Brisbane in a close one.
Topes? I think Geelong in a close one. Yeah, I think it'll be closer than that first final, and exactly what Trav said, Brisbane are just 3 grand finals in a row is underrated.
Gaz, look what we got our hands on. It doesn't get released until next week.
Oh, nice.
Trav Boak's book, The Power Within.
Handsome man too. Beautiful cover shot. That's outstanding. We can have a read of that. All good bookstores, I'm sure.
Yes. Have you enjoyed working through it with Mick Gleeson and committing it to print?
It was a process. So it was over the last 2 or 3 years, and not knowing my retirement, I was going to retire the last 3 years, so it was kind of an ongoing process. But it was a good journey to go back on where it all started and sort of overcoming different challenges. It's not just a footy book and what happened each year in footy. It's about the process of ups and downs of life and how to sort of deal with those moments. And it was a fun process, and hopefully people get a good read out of it.
Good on you. So panmcmillan.com.au in all bookstores. It's released next week. So congrats on all that you've done. Enjoy the motorcade on Saturday.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
And run well.
I won't be, mate. So don't.
Go hard, man. Go. What sort of look are you going for? A full body suit?
No, I'll be kitted up. I'll look good.
Get the good kit going.
Yeah, I will. I got the good spikes from Puma upset. But they're not going to help, mate.
Just got to try and get in the head of the opposition. Take one down.
It's been one, that's right. Hey, thanks for being part of
good to see you, boys.
We've really appreciated it across the journey. The last edition of Razor's Edge, and I think it's fair to say there's a couple of open issues to deal with.
Look at it, the more I think the umpire made the right decision.
That is a free kick every day of the week.
The arm chop is still a thing and front on contact is still a thing. That's a free kick.
I'm adamant. His eyes were on the ball and he didn't drag the arm down.
I think it should be a free kick.
Well, I actually thought it was a pretty good spoil.
On the night, I straight away thought that would be one that would normally be paid, but we were comfortable with where it landed.
I'd be more inclined to pay a free kick. I'd like to see the ball smashed away.
$1 each way, anyone? This is why we have Razor's Edge right throughout the season.
I don't like that, Jerry, because it makes Ray look better, That's how hard it is. And he's not better because he's hobbled in. He's just come up short in grand final week. What's happened?
Nothing will keep me away from the desk, though, Gary. Thanks for having me.
I know that might keep you away from... What have you done? I think you got an old man's.
No, I was humbled. I've nicked a calf. And
Lockie nailed it.
I wanted to message Lockie and go big spoon, little spoon in the hyperbaric chamber.
Look at you. Look at the old fella there. Just realising his umpiring mortality is coming.
It's tapped me on the shoulder. Yeah.
It's probably going to be a lengthy absence at this age too. Right, Jamie Elliott, where we found ourselves with this flashpoint on Saturday. Give us the rule.
Yeah, so the spirit of the law in marking contest is that if a player makes their sole objective the football, they are permitted to contest the ball. Whether that's front on, side on, from behind, it doesn't matter. And any contact that is incidental in that effort is permissible. Now, there's a little bit of a caveat around with frontal interference as opposed to general marking contest. And, you know, two things can be true. So we heard the lead in and you can, everyone having a bob each way. Starcevic, sole objective to football, no doubt. Eyes on the football, no doubt. But in the words of Simon Meredith, we'd like to see him smash it. So the words we would use in an umpiring vernacular in relation to contesting the ball from front on is we want to see him flush the ball. This sits so in the margins as to does Starcevic get to the ball clean or not. This is line ball and such a challenging decision. But I sit in the Simon Meredith camp. I believe this is a free kick, but I'm not critical of the umpire at all.
It doesn't say in that what you put up the reasoning. It doesn't say frontal incidental contact, but you must flush the ball.
No, but the interpretation. There's interpretations and subjectivity with every law that's in this game, Gary, and the coaching dialogue and messaging and instruction that we've had right throughout in most recent years is when you come from front on, we want to see you get the ball clean. And I know that we've got an example to be able to try and demonstrate the difference. There can be contact from front on, there can be contact on the arm if it's incidental, so long as your sole objective is the football and we get contact.
You did this with us in round 2.
This is right. So you'll see Darcy Moore comes back with the flight of the ball. He doesn't have his eyes back at the ball, but he waits until it comes in a frame. He uses Norton's hands as his reference points. He's very clever, and he gets the ball clean. And as a result, we call play on. There's no contact to the arm. He does front Norton. He does T-bone him in the front, but he's clean on the football. His sole objective is to contest the ball. That was called play on, and the AFL umpiring department said that's a correct decision, and that is in line with instruction.
Okay, so that is instructional, and if the grand final to be played on Saturday, that is what we'll look for in that instance, that there is clear and precise contact with the footy.
Exactly, and remembering that overarching principle, the sole objective of the player, in Starcevic's case, he ticked that box, was to contest the football, and then if you come from front on, we need you to make clean contact with the ball.
We're not time. We can go until midnight if we want, so indulge me. I would suggest that Starcevic's was a much more genuine attempt than Darcy Moore's.
I concur. They both come from front on, and the instructional element around that behaviour is around do you successfully make contact with the ball or not.
Yeah.
So that's the checklist that we're going through. And keep in mind in that preliminary final, we've rock and rolled this, we've freeze-framed it. He gets one look, one line of sight, and it was a really challenging decision.
So that game, sorry, Jared, that is the grand final with 30 seconds to go, and Collingwood are down by 3 points. What happens?
I hope that a free kick for frontal marking context interference is paid.
Yeah. And the drop of the ball, I think, is the best cue. Ball over there, ball straight down, you got hands.
Great. I think it's a fair call, Jared. Yeah, fair.
All right, the Brownlow. Is there a moment where the reverence for the Brownlow tips into ridicule, and do we risk that at the moment?
So I've thought about this for a few days, and I think one of the worst things that you can do is to be too reactive in the immediate aftermath when everyone wants to be the most clever person in the world around these things. But we don't want to walk away from opportunities to be better. So if that means, and that's going to take some debate, because ultimately it comes back to the question of what does the game, not the umpires, this is not related to the umpires, actually. I know they cast the votes, but this discussion is about the game. What does the game want the Brownlow medal to be? That's fundamental, the question that has to be answered.
So we want it to be a reflection of what truly happens in the game to give us the best player of the season.
And fairest, or is that just a nice little add-on at the end? And is it relevant?
Well, do you want my opinion like all the masses, or do you want the game to instruct us?
I want you as an umpire to tell me, do you take into account fairest when you award 3-2-1?
So if I was awarding 3-2-1 and there was some bits and bobs that went on in the game that was nothing alarming, it's the best player. Who's had the most influence on the outcome of this game? If a player did something that was egregious, there was a king hit or something that you witnessed where you go, that's beyond dispute, that's going to come into your calculations. But other than that...
Abuse?
No, nothing. That's irrelevant. Yeah.
Irrelevant.
They're passionate, they're competitive, we embrace that and we march through that.
All right.
Time for stats? Just to add into the mix.
Can I give you an example, because it's historical, so I can reference it? I went down, I did a game in Geelong, 2 years ago, GWS played against Geelong down at Kardinia Park. And at the end of the game, I was adamant that Connor Idun should be in for 2 votes. And I was steadfast. And in the end, I held sway and I got my way. And we left. And by the time I drove home, I checked my phone. And Connor Idun had 15 possessions. And I started to get a little nervous, Jared. And by the way, just as a side note, I've butchered plenty of votes, OK? But this instance, I waited nervously for the coaches' votes to come out, because you always reference them. They're the smartest minds in the game. They know what they're trying to do. They know what the opposition's trying to do. And Connor Idun came up 4 and 4 for our coaches. I was so joyful. But my point is that had I looked at the stats, would I start to doubt my instinct and intuition about what I thought was the impact of the game? So there are pros, most definitely, and there are also cons. So the answer has got to come out of this. What does the game want the Brownlow medal to be? Not what is the masses' opinions. That's irrelevant, actually. What does the game want it to be?
We want the umpire's opinions, but you, in that instance there, are seeking confirmation from the coach. You don't need to seek confirmation from any other votes. It is your award, it is the way you see it, and that is what makes it unique.
And I love that from you, and I appreciate that perspective, because I feel similarly. But what I will say to you is, how often have you sat in the seat of an umpire and the vitriol that comes from the flog squad online?
I empathise with you on the basis of that, but stay the line.
All right, be brief here. Best umpiring of the season, give it to us.
Jamie Broadbent. So we've got Geelong versus Collingwood. There's 20 seconds to go in the game. Jack Crisp has broken the record for most games in a row, and there's 20 seconds to go, and there's a bit to happen. Bounce the ball straight so we don't lose time. Nailed it. Back out. Ball is pinned. Quickly, call for a ball up. Don't waste any time. Get the ball, get out of the road, don't make a song and dance. Ball not pinned here, clue in. Don't blow your whistle. He doesn't. Award correct free kick. Don't come in and get in the road, because they're going to roll off, play on fast and try and get it inside 50. You don't want to be in the road as a shepherder. Ball goes in, Chris takes a mark, and we get a barnstorming finish. He had 5 things to do accurately that no one cares about, no one's spoken about, but he gets one of them wrong. We don't get the shot after the siren. Brilliant umpiring.
Most amusing rule-related moment.
Yeah, this is one of my favourites, actually. So Sam Collins had a moment where he thought he'd won an Olympic gold medal. So the ball, this is after the siren, he's the attacker, and he punches the ball through with all his effort for a point. Look at him, he's wrapped. It's a point. No, because it's assisted through by an attacking player, so no score there, Sam, but I do love the endeavour.
Nice. Yeah. It's been great to have you as part of it, Ray. Thank you.
Thank you for having me a part of it.
I've enjoyed it.
Me too, Gary.
Raises it. Will they have a beer together over the summer? We'll wait to find out. Ray Chamberlain raises his hand during the countdown to the grand final on Saturday. The Cats and the Lions at the pinnacle of the 2025 season. What happens on Saturday will forever define the year of footy we've just had.
It's coming home. That's what I'm talking about!
Welcome to the last Saturday of September. A peerless occasion to showcase the very best of our game. This grand final, like all before it,
It's rolling towards the boundary line at halves almost. Max Brown, he tips it back to Sheldon, and it's a goal!
will be defined by moments.
Just went straight at Brereton.
It's a main event in any stadium in the world. Oh, Buffalo, you're guilty.
Slivers of time that we never see coming. But when we do, become truly unforgettable. It's dreams and, yes, nightmares.
It came up behind him like a librarian.
There's just no in-between on grand final day. These two know this stage all too well. Geelong and Brisbane. Two of the heavyweights this century, both deadlocked on 4 premierships. With a foundation of 2 golden dynasties From Lethal's Invincibles
But the Lions have gone back to back to back.
to Geelong's Drought Breakers.
Yes! It's the Cats.
And get this, no team has won more games this decade than these two, punctuated by more silverware.
Two of football's most successful clubs.
And here they go again. The two heavyweights brimming with superstars. Patrick Dangerfield, what a name, what a player.
This is one they will talk about.
Game 359, arguably his very best.
He's got the cape on. He straps the Superman cape on Dangerfield.
How about this prize recruit, Bailey Smith? A headline act, both sides of the highway.
Time for a bit of baseball.
Look out when he tucks the footy under his arm. An explosion of power and talent.
He was born to be in this situation.
For the reigning champs, it's the ageless Dane Zorko.
They need a hero in a hurry, and it might be the Great Dane.
The former bricklayer from Broadbeach, but on the field, he's more of an architect.
The Great Dane for the finishing touch.
Then there's this wonderkind, Will Ashcroft.
Will Ashcroft.
12 months on from winning a Norm Smith medal in game 31.
The winner of the Norm Smith medal, Will Ashcroft.
Now running out grand final day with his brother. Talk about fulfilling the boyhood dream. It's Geelong and Brisbane back on the stage. They know better than anyone. The 2025 grand final, the very best of our game.
Everybody wants to rule the world.
As good as the game can be on a stacked weekend, AFLW has its place. And it's a special place as that. You'll love this, right? So for the first time, women are reaching the 100-game milestone. You have to have played every game since round 1 2017. And these two women reach it not only at the same week, but at the same time. Both games, they're not playing each other, both games are Sunday, 3 p.m. We will have two Centurions. Ebony Marinoff, congratulations and welcome.
Thank you.
And Ali Anderson. Ali, it's great to have you on 360.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Ali, this is absolutely uncanny. You reached the milestone at exactly the same moment.
Yeah, I feel like maybe the AFL did that on purpose, but no, it's super cool, you know, that we get to do it together. So yeah, the fact that we're running out there is pretty cool.
Ebony, it's a great milestone.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think we've done a lot of reflecting throughout the week, and even Adelaide Oval, Ali and I had a photo there a couple of weeks ago and we hadn't quite reached it, but I think upon reflecting, Hugh McCluggage had 200 games this year. We were drafted in the same year, so to put it across that, I think it is pretty remarkable that we get to raise the bat.
Football royalty too, 5 flags between them, which is unbelievable. What's the secret to longevity? We marvel at, and from our point of view, it used to be Jimmy and now it's Jack Crisp. 100 in a row, not to be sneezed at all. Have you got a secret?
Well, I think Ali's a little bit more superstitious than I, but I think, you know, you would like to be, say that we're pretty hard workers, do a hell of a lot of work in the off-season and best prepare ourselves to be consistent, and I think that's what Ali and I have been able to do.
Ali, I don't know, when you look at these numbers and Ebony, this you should be just so proud. I mean, you're playing at the elite level now and you're putting up these sorts of numbers. This elevates you into a whole different level again. When you look at that, what do you think about what you've been able to achieve?
Yeah, it's just sort of crazy. You know, it's been 9 years, so sort of never thought that I personally would be here. I don't know about you, Ebony, but yeah, the first year I was sort of like, oh, maybe this is just like a sort of one season thing. Like, I don't know where it's going or what's going to happen. And yeah, the fact that we're here 9 years later is just crazy. And yeah, to see that all that we've both sort of achieved is pretty special. And the fact that now we can be role models for everyone is, yeah, pretty cool.
So a lot's changed, hasn't it, Ebony, from where you start to where you are as a profession now?
Yeah, absolutely. In our first seasons, I think we're only at the club for 6 to 8 hours, and pretty much now we image the men's program. So we're pretty much full-time athletes. So you pinch yourself because, yeah, when we played 7 games, we went straight into a grand final. Now we get to experience the whole final series, and it's been one hell of a ride that we've all embraced. And like Ali touched on, when I played footy growing up, I was the only girl on the team, and now you go to local footy clubs and there's so many numerous girls playing the great game that we get to play. And
the relationship between the men's and the women's teams is real. You know, I think you try hard to incorporate the clubs, but when it's new, it takes a little bit of time. But, Ellie, from your point of view, you're playing on the weekend, so you don't get a chance to come and watch the men's team. But how significant is it, and how much do you feel a part of what's going to take place on the weekend?
Yeah, it's so incredible. We were in on the at the club on Tuesday, and it was an open training, and the buzz around the place was just so cool. And just wishing everyone luck in the hallways, and it's just so exciting that they're in that position again. Obviously, disappointed that we can't go and support them, but we'll be having watch parties up here and getting around them. And I know last year when they won, they came home and to our game, and then we sort of went into the change rooms because we won too, and we all got to sing the song together. So it was just a really nice sort of atmosphere after that as well.
That's really cool. And
so hopefully that can happen again.
Yeah, it would be nice. You get to be a part of it, having won the medal. So you're part of the motorcade, which is going to be exciting.
It's going to be super cool. I feel for the Brizzy girls, especially because I'm a bit of a footy naffy, and you want to make sure that you're embracing that as a club. So unfortunately last year they weren't there, and this year they're not there. So hopefully to the AFL we can have a little bit of a floating fixture. Maybe Ali could have played her 100th yesterday, so she gets to play the game. But it'll be an awesome experience, and we'll have Brodie Smith and a few of the other players who've retired as well from the footy clubs. So I'm sure it'll be a memorable day.
And you're part of the parade tomorrow. So you said you're a footy nuffy. Have you been to the parade before?
Yeah, I've fortunately won the Rising Star in my first year, so I've actually experienced this. But
old hand.
You touched on it all evolving, and 9 years later I'm here in a different scoop, so it's crazy.
And you're going to the grand final. Your partner I met just then, he's a Brisbane Lions supporter. You think you're going to be able to nick off at three-quarter time, so you're nice and I tell you, if it's tight, I don't reckon he's going anywhere.
Well, the AFL told him he could get on a later flight, but it's my 100th on Sunday, so he said, no, I better get on the flight because he doesn't know if we'll quite make it. So hopefully Brisbane are up, and he's calm on the way home. But I think it'll be a close game.
That's commitment, Jeremy.
That is commitment. I just want to know how it ends, though. It's just the commitment last into the last quarter. You've been to grand finals before?
Yeah, I've been really fortunate enough, especially in our first few years at AFLW. We played earlier on in the year. A little bit jealous because they're the best weeks. I remember Lily Mithen and I, for the first couple of years, we just embraced the whole week. You'd go to all these little after parties, the September Club after the AFL Grand Final, and it's a real buzz. It's the best game in the world, and you hear all the AFL players say they want to be there on the last day of September, and when you go to those days you exactly know why. And you look at Paddy Dangerfield last week, and just you get to see the players who are built for September, so I'm super keen to be back there.
Well, you are our standard bearers in AFLW, so congratulations on all you've done. Enjoy the 100th game. It's a milestone that should be saluted right across the industry. Ali, enjoy it.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Ebony, good luck for it.
Thank you.
Thanks for stopping by. Ebony Marinoff and Ali Anderson with us as they reached 100 games on Sunday. We're going to tidy up with our picks next. Grand final eve here on Fox Footy. The press conference and then the parade through the streets of Melbourne to the forecourt at the MCG, and the presentation. All sorts of superstitions around holding that cup aloft. And then for a bit of light relief, for a bit of absolute mayhem, bounce. The grand final special tomorrow night from 7.
Listen to that crowd.
Listen to it. Just soak it all up.
It is absolutely enthralling, as was promised.
After 215 games,
This is a great start.
did you really think we were done?
That is an absolute specking.
All the showstoppers,
What a gather from the veteran.
all the heart-stoppers,
The crowd's going to go crazy here.
called by our team.
Thank you very much.
Now it's time for the 2025 crescendo.
Yes, yes, yes.
The grand final.
Oh, my goodness.
Stares down the pressure.
It's at breaking point now.
Turns to the crowd. Pumps his fist.
That's what they paid the big bucks for.
What an extraordinary footballer.
He can take your whole game down.
This is Fox Footy. This is finals footy.
The grand final for the very first time called by us. Right here on Fox Footy.
It's everything you need.
It is everything you need from 6 p.m. Saturday and right the way through the off-season. It'll be there. Fox Footy's call of the 2025 Grand Final. Time for our PointsBet update with Bernie Vince. Bernie, welcome.
Thanks, Jared. Grand final action Saturday afternoon, MCG. This is going to be a cracker, this one. As you can see, the market firmly with the Cats at the moment, but Brisbane very good on the road this year. Both very good records at the MCG, though. The Cats 6-1, Brisbane 4-1, just losing that qualifying final a couple of weeks ago to the Cats. Now, I want to talk total point line. Currently sits at 170.5. I think that's too low. 186 in the qualifying final, 180 in last year's prelim. I'm on the overs in this one. Remember, if you're playing in the same game multi-space, Brisbane #1 in disposals the last 5 weeks. So Josh Dunkley, as you can see, 25 plus in the last 7 games v Geelong. What a record that is. And also Dane Zorko, 25 plus in all 3 games v the Cats this year. Make sure you include them. You can find all those odds plus a whole heap more on the PointsBet app. Enjoy grand final day.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
You've been with us since night 1 on Skype on 360.
Tell us.
It took you a long time to graduate, but we send you on your way.
There's a 4th category.
Yeah, where is she?
Yeah. Well, let's have a look at the 4th category. Obviously, very talent and low readiness, and that's not the bracket you'll want to spend too much time in, Jared.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. You blokes just killed me.
What's just happened? Not many players stick the finger in the coach's ear 3 weeks running.
Hopefully there's a few more wet willies to come this year.
The finger might salute might get me in a bit of trouble, you blokes. The message from me is pretty simple. Step in and enjoy.
You might want to put the doors on those cupboards behind it if you get a couple of spare minutes.
They are coming, guys. They are coming.
Can't believe I put makeup on. It's the first time I've had makeup on in my life.
Oh, man, not going to be happy with that.
No, you'll be cutting rusty.
Gaz, did we manage to get anyone into trouble today?
Not as yet, Jared, but it's the night's only young.
It's only young.
We've got a few to roll through here. What do you got? Frisians?
Yeah, we've got Frisian cows.
A few jersey?
No, we don't have jerseys.
Right. What about a Dorper?
Nah, you stick away from the Dorpers. That's what you got, don't you?
I've got a couple of Dorpers. And we don't forget birthdays here at Fox Footy. We are up to, so happy birthday.
Very good. Very good. Well done. That's very good.
Do you get fined for that?
Wouldn't surprise me, Brad, to be honest.
And good luck for the rest of the year. You smell good too. What are you wearing tonight?
No idea.
Just natural scent.
Just natural.
I mean, mine's backed up by data. Yours is emotion and a tin hat. So I don't know. We can figure it out at another time.
I've just had some breaking news. I'm not on the past players WhatsApp.
But it's from 2000s.
99 I retired, so I've just missed the cut.
You let one in, Gaz, you let them all.
No, that's a very good point, Simo.
Immediate pressure and
Sounds
time and space is...
contradictory.
No, it's not, because Gary doesn't like to listen, Jared.
Listen, have you bought your dollar membership yet, Gary, or not?
My word, I have. I've got many of them.
I'll make sure they check that database. There's a rumour going around you're a tight ass, so we have to make sure.
Who are you dining with tonight, Horse?
It's a great DK Lily, Jared.
I was one of the worst until I learnt, so let's carry on.
Thank you, Gary.
I'll abuse you in a minute.
I was going to say, might get 5 minutes respite here. Let's go.
Win again, Dimmer. We'll have you back next Monday.
Oh, really? Oh, sorry, I meant to say that.
You'll be over the moon if you're back here next Monday, Dimmer.
Some of our KFC FLG moments of the year here on 360. It's been a lot of fun.
It has been a lot of fun. A lot more fun than I thought it was going to be honest. Thought we were going to do some heavy stuff.
Right, Chemist Warehouse.
What have we got?
So the House of Finals is out at the MCG at the Footy Fest. I was out there today.
Drink bottles.
Outside Gate 3.
Yep.
Open all day tomorrow and Saturday.
What have we got here? Poncho. Is that a poncho?
I think so.
Yep, I think it is.
Stack of
I don't know if it's
prizes.
going to rain, and hopefully some hangover stuff in here as well.
Footy Finals
SPF, I don't think you
giveaway
need that at the moment. But, lots of good stuff there from
Stock
Chemist
up.
Warehouse. Great supporters.
Stock up. All right, our grand final picks, thanks to PointsBet.
Righto.
Bring it home strong. What is your grand final headline?
Back page headline, Max Impact. Holmes wins the norm. Now, I see a lot of people are picking him, so I should have gone for someone more original, but that's where I'm headed. What about you?
Chris secures legacy.
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah.
Which one?
Oh, that's very clever. That's $1 each
Can't
way.
miss there, can I? Like the
this-
AFL with their umpiring decisions. Plot twist.
So well, it's late, Tim, to be perfectly honest. It's 8:15. Plot twist. Snoop opens up with Up There Kazali. Mike Brady goes off his nut. Imagine if the dog hits
I'm
up a
up
bit
for
of
that.
hits a bit
I'm
up there,
totally
Kazali.
up for that.
What do you got?
I got Bailey parties with Snoop post game.
I think that's a fair chance.
I think that's a
That's
very
a really
fair
good
chance.
chance.
Last dollar.
I think you've got me here. I've ended up with a grand final Bailey Bird just to see out the year. At some stage, you might just flip one for old time's sake, but I like yours better.
Yeah, I go Paddy driving. Danger hangs Norm from the mirror of the Mustang.
Fitting.
Swinging away.
Beautiful way. Off the rear view.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it.
Yep.
I do.
No air freshener there. Just hang Norm from it on the way home.
I think he would do that too.
All right.
Well
Have
done.
a ripper grand final day.
Yep, you too.
We're going
Great
to
calling.
convene on Monday night.
Yep.
And the winning coach will be with us.
Well, that is going to be a big finish to what's been a big year, and I don't know who it's going to be. It's a fair chance Chris will be with us.
He will indeed. So, all right, thanks for your company. Enjoy tomorrow, the parade, the press conference, the call from 6 o'clock, the replay, and we will have you back on Monday night on AFL 360.